Growing up, I didn't have a father. It was just me, my mom, and my brother. We're the family. Being younger, my mom taught me about Jesus. I remember reading books about Jesus and praying, going to Sunday school and that kind of thing growing up. I had a pretty good childhood. Went to my aunt's camps a lot. I had two aunts that had different camps around New Brunswick. There was drinking present within my family. I remember growing up and always, saying to my brother, my cousin and stuff, that we would never drink or anything like that. We just saw what it did to our family, or more or less saw the effects it had, and I just remember saying, we would never do that. There's a lot of confusion growing up, not having a father. My brother was diagnosed with Asperger's very early on, and there was even confusion around that, like not really knowing exactly, what was wrong. And then of course him meeting his father, call him dad, and I wasn't really sure what to think in that, I guess. So there was some confusion growing up, but overall I would say, it was a good childhood. My mom always took good care of us. Around the age of 18, that's when things started, big shift in my life. Started drinking at one point, and then that whole lifestyle just sort of took over, just started drinking, ended up stealing, gambling, moving into a lot of harder drugs. Just with that whole lifestyle, like I said, the stealing and, just doing a lot of things to hurt my family and stuff. Ended up getting in trouble with the law, in and out of jail quite a bit. At this point in my life, I've spent about 3 years incarcerated. It was pretty rocky for about 11-year period. I was in and out of jail, just the whole lifestyle, my life just completely out of hand. My only real life goal and everything was to make it to the next poker table, or get the next high, or whatever it may be. Just a really unhealthy lifestyle, just completely out of control, which eventually ended up, my life just came to a crisis. I can remember being sentenced once, and the judge told me, if I keep going down the road I was going, that I would be lucky to see the age of 30. It was, I think, 3 weeks before I turned 30 that I came to that crisis where, I just needed help. I started calling around to different rehabilitation centers. Eventually, after calling quite a few times to the Village of Hope, I just made the decision to come and enter the program at the Village of Hope. At the time, I didn't believe in God. I didn't really have any faith in God at all. To me, it just didn't make sense, I guess. But just the situation I was in, I needed the help, and I was willing to just to come out and give it a try. About 2 months or so into the program, I ended up finding the faith. Don't really know how to explain it. I guess the best way I can kind of put it is like, it was almost like a life epiphany. It was like everything just kind of added up and made sense. It was kind of like the light bulb came on, if you'd say. Mind you, even after that, I still had a bunch of doubt. I still had a bunch of questions. I questioned, the faith, I questioned the program, I questioned everything quite a bit. Through all my questioning and through all of my doubt and everything, the more I found was just kind of truth, truth in the faith, just basically truth in what I was being taught. Before I came to the village, I sort of had a more kind of view on life of like reincarnation or something like that made more sense. But it was sort of like a faulty perception of reality, I guess. Yeah, so I found, I came here, I found the faith. Within a couple months, and then shortly after that, a few things happened. There were some curveballs thrown my way, I guess. Got a phone call here in the program one day, with my mom calling, and she told me that my brother had been murdered. And at that time I was just completely lost. I didn't know what to think. I was just lost. I completely just didn't know what to think. It just really took me away, I guess. So it was extremely hard, but at the same time it was God's provision in all of it, to have me here at the village when it all happened. To have people in my life to show me that what happened to him came out of hurt and pain in someone else's life. Even after that, again, another kind of curveball was thrown at me. I had some charges that I had come up that I had to go to court for. Had to go back to jail I was sentenced 9 months. It felt like God was speaking to me saying like, not to worry, that he would make a way out for me. Through that, it gave me an opportunity to read the whole Bible, which, wasn't very familiar with the Bible at that point in time. So, I made the most of my opportunity that I could when I was there. Trying to speak with some of the men there even that I felt were kind of open to receive help and that kind of thing, and then try to push them, encourage them to get help. And actually, I ended up coming back early from jail. I only spent 2 months or so incarcerated because I was able to have a temporary absence to be able to come back to the village to finish my program. So again, like, God's just faithful in all of that. He brought me back to the village. And even my time in jail, like, I've been to jail a lot of times before, but never like with that sort of view on everything. Like, you could just see the denial and projection that everyone was in. Anyway, I came back to the village, finished the program, and then by the time I was finished, I just felt like God was calling me to stay on to do they have a 10 to 12 month SLT program, which is a leadership training program. I signed up for that, committed to that, and it was extremely challenging. It has been extremely challenging, but in all of it, it's really been more positive than anything. I hope today that I can be a good father figure for my niece, that I can be there for her where, I didn't grow up with a father, and then of course she doesn't have a father now, that hopefully I can be a good father figure to her and be a good example, not only to her, but to the rest of my family. I'm not at the point of like having everything figured out, I guess you would say. But I do recognize the main purpose that God has for me, just to spread his love, just to be able to help other people and that kind of thing. I've found a lot of truth in the faith, but I still have a lot of questions, and I guess I just feel like I've started this journey, a journey of fulfillment, of peace, just a journey of discovery, I guess you'd say. It's been a hard journey, but it's been a really good journey in a lot of ways. So, I'm looking forward to moving on to the next step, whatever that'll be. I'm not entirely sure what it is at this point in time, but I don't really need to know. Like, God will let me know at the right time on his time. So that's pretty much my story.